Hey guys, I'm Leah. Welcome to my first YouTube video. I am starting a YouTube channel to showcase one example of a sustainable lifestyle. I have always been really passionate about the environment, so I've always been really into trying to make my lifestyle as eco-friendly as possible. So I want to kind of show the world like one example of a sustainable lifestyle, and I emphasize one because everyone's is going to look different. I mean, mine looks a certain way, but if you tried to do the same thing, it might look different for you, or certain things will make a bigger difference for you than it would for me. But the biggest thing that I want to accomplish with this channel is just to lead by example and show people that it can be easy to live a sustainable lifestyle. I think that there's a current mindset that like you see people on Instagram or you see people on YouTube and you think that they can do that, but I can't do that. Like, that's easy for them, but, you know, it wouldn't be easy for me. So I really want to show people that living a sustainable lifestyle through zero waste living, through minimalism, through veganism is attainable and that anyone can do it. First, I kind of want to define, like, the three pillars of what I think this channel will turn into. So the first thing is zero waste. Zero waste is a philosophy that is trying to reverse the single-use consumer culture that's running pretty rampant in our society right now. So the idea behind zero waste is that everything gets reused. So it really places emphasis on the 3 R's, you know, reduce, reuse, recycle, but first and foremost, the reduce and the reuse. So recycling is a good option, but there's too much emphasis placed on recycling right now. What's really more important in the first place is just to reduce what you're consuming, the amount of single-use plastics and everything that you're throwing away. And reusing is just, you know, the idea of the things that you do use, you're using again and again and again and again. The idea behind zero waste comes from the idea that people say throw it away, as if once you throw out that coffee cup, it's away, it's gone, but there is no away. Like, that coffee cup is going somewhere and it's gonna be there until it finally decays, like 1,000,000 years from now or whatever. So zero waste is trying to cut back on what is sent to landfill. So obviously everyone knows what veganism is by this point, but just a quick summary. If you're a vegan, you refrain from participating in any animal byproducts. So you don't eat meat, you don't eat dairy, you don't eat eggs. You don't buy leather or fur. You only buy like beauty products, for example, that are cruelty-free, like not tested on animals, to the best of your ability. So the idea is to not create a demand for those types of products. As for minimalism, it's super trendy right now, so everyone knows what minimalism is, but it's just the idea of living with less. You declutter your home, declutter your room, you eventually are decluttering your headspace and you will have more mental clarity after. Everyone who tries minimalism swears by it. I try and do the best I can. I definitely have a harder time getting rid of some things still, but hopefully through this channel I can, you know, push myself more. But yeah, so the first thing I wanted to talk about today in my very first video is mainly focused on zero waste. So like I was saying, zero waste is the idea of not wanting to send anything to landfill. So the foundation of a zero waste lifestyle comes from the big four. The big four are 4 items that are most commonly sent to landfills. So yeah, let's get started. These are the more obvious swaps. I don't think you'll see anything too surprising here, but everyone has to start somewhere. The idea behind this channel is to make zero waste and sustainable lifestyle accessible to everyone. So even if these 4 swaps are the only swaps that you can make, that's great. Like, that's amazing. These are the biggest 4 contributors to landfills around the world, so you're still making a difference. So the first item on this list comes as a surprise to no one, but a reusable water bottle. So if you buy a plastic water bottle in a store, which is, you know, sometimes considered the most convenient thing to do, most of those don't end up being turned into new water bottles, and I think that's people's justification a lot of the time. Like, if you're at all eco-minded and you are buying a plastic water bottle, you think, oh, it's fine, I'm gonna recycle it, it'll be turned into a new water bottle, it's fine. but unfortunately, in a lot of cities, recycling is kind of unreliable. For example, I live in Philly, and Philly is terrible at recycling. So this can all be avoided if you just buy a reusable water bottle. I like my Hydro Flask. It's metal because it can keep things hot and cold. Also, there's no worry of, even if it's BPA free plastic that you're talking about, there's no worry of it leaching into the water, so it's healthier for you, allegedly. And Hydro Flasks in particular, like, you might look at these or swell bottles or something and think that it's really expensive, but if you think about the price of buying a plastic water bottle every day, besides the ecological cost, if you spend $2 on a water bottle every day, that's $60 a month. This is like $40. So it seems expensive when you're first buying it, but it ends up being pretty worth it. You can pay it off in a month, obviously, if you're buying water every day. So this is the first most obvious switch. Also, besides the upfront cost of buying a water bottle every day, there are water bottle refilling stations everywhere, especially if you're in college. Like, you can't walk down a hallway without seeing a water fountain. So then you get free water after you have this also. Okay, so the next item is kind of by the same token, a reusable coffee cup. So every time you buy a cup of coffee, you also might think, oh, it's fine, it's paper, it's gonna biodegrade, but most coffee cups are lined with plastic, and the lid is not recyclable plastic, so not too great for the environment. But if you bring a reusable coffee cup, almost every coffee shop I've ever been to has let me use this if I give it to them. Also, some will give you a discount. Saxby's in Philly will give you a discount. They charge you for a small, no matter how big the container is that you bring in. I like this one because it's small. Also, this Reanimator is a local Philly company, so sustainable and it's local, which is cool. This is a really easy switch to make, especially if you drink coffee every day and then you always have it with you. So this one is also a good one. The third item is definitely super trendy right now, so no one will be surprised by this at all. But metal straws. Plastic straws never biodegrade, essentially. So they end up in landfills, they end up in the ocean. Everyone has seen the picture of the sea turtle with the straw coming out of its nose. I find myself not using straws too often, at least in the winter. But in the summer, I find myself using straws a lot, and this always helps. I keep one of these on me at all times too, just in case I run into a situation where someone's offering me a straw, and then I can say no and use one of these instead. But yeah, so metal straws are great to keep on your person. I have a whole set at my apartment, and I bought a whole set for my family at home, and they get used all the time, which is amazing to see, because if they were using a plastic straw every time that they use one of these, then there would be piles of straws in landfills right now, and these prevented that, so that's pretty awesome. Alright, the last item of the big four also is going to come as a surprise to no one. Reusable grocery bags. So I have this Vita bag. I love it because it's really compact, so I keep it pretty much with me at all times, because a lot of times I'll just stop into the grocery store unexpectedly and get a few things, and this is always on me, which is never taking up a lot of space. So this works by just collapsing into the bag, into this tiny bag, and then it becomes this huge reusable grocery bag, which fits over your shoulder really nicely. So a reusable grocery bag is definitely the last most important swap that you can make. Again, a lot of grocery stores will give you discounts for using reusable bags, so that's awesome too. But yeah, this way you don't have to say yes to paper or plastic. You can just use this grocery bag over and over and over again, and then you don't acquire that mass of plastic bags that I always had under my sink growing up. But yeah, so these are the big four. These are the first swaps I would recommend anyone to make if you're trying to send less stuff to landfill, if you're trying to live a more low impact lifestyle. These will make the biggest difference, and they're all pretty affordable. They're all pretty accessible for everyone, which is, as I've said 17 times in this video, that's my goal of this channel, just to show that everyone can do this. So yeah, anyone can make these swaps. This is an amazing place to start. So thank you for watching. I'm gonna try and put out a new video on sustainability every week. So hopefully I can stay true to this. I am in college and I have a pretty full workload, so we'll see. But the goal right now is to send out a new video every week on sustainability. So I have a lot to look forward to. I hope you guys liked this video. But yeah, I will see you guys soon.